Mr. Scott of Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and welcome back, Chairman Powell. Now, Chairman Powell, listen to me very carefully here, because I think we're on the verge of making a terrible mistake. Back in 2008, if you recall, Barney Frank then and Miss Waters asked me to take a look and kind of work with you and the Fed. You were a board member in 2008. And we came to the conclusion that we needed a more equitable playing field between our large banks, like Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and our regional and smaller banks like Truist and our community banks. And we changed that. But now I hear that the Fed and the FDIC plan to drop a new rule which seeks to apply the long-term and higher capital requirements that were created, and you and I did this back in 2008, and you remember, that were created for the Goldman Sachs and for them. And now we want to apply these rules to the regional banks. There's a big difference, and we've omitted this difference if you proceed in this manner. I think it's very misguided. It works, and you and I worked on this. You recall this. You were a board member, and we saw that we needed to have a better playing field to protect. And if you all go along with this, it could put many of our regional banks and small community banks out of business. So I want you to reverse this. First of all, tell me, am I speaking the truth? Are you all planning to all of a sudden here put these smaller and regional banks under the same heavy or financial load as your large worldwide banks? Tell me.
No, we're not planning that. We believe strongly and always have in tailoring to address the different size and risk characteristics of financial institutions, and certainly nothing like that for the regionals. They won't have anything like what the very large, most systemically important banks have in terms of overall regulation.
Yeah, because I remember clearly you and I were back, I think we were on this side then, talking about this in this same committee room. And you worked with us on that. I'm glad to hear that. Where is that coming from? I mean, it's a concern. It's just a rumor. Have there been any discussions about removing the playing field and the guardrails we have here, the differentiations in the requirements between the regional banks, community banks, and your larger global banks? So there's nothing to that?
Well, I would say this. We're required by the law now, and we're doing this. Dodd-Frank actually required us, suggested that we should tailor, and then the S-2155 then required it. And anything that we do will reflect appropriate tailoring.
All right, so that's off the board. We're not going to change and put the smaller and regional banks under the same financial obligation role as the large banks. We got that right from you, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, good. Now let me turn to China. I'm really worried about China, and right now people may not know it, but China is the world's largest economy in terms of purchasing power. Now, at our last meeting, I talked about this move where we didn't blow the balloon up. And this is an example of what I was pointing out.
Gentleman's time's expired. We'll now recognize